10 people waiting. Whoa.
It's all of our moms.
Wow. We have 10 people, guys.
Oh, we're live.
All right, are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Yay.
Oh my God, here it is. Here we are, everybody.
So you think a good podcast reunion? Kind
Hell
of.
of a reunion.
Kind of. It's the Team
40%.
Robot reunion plus Cam.
Right.
Yeah, Team Brent.
You get bonus points for organizing it, though, right? You put out the link.
True,
Cam organized it. Where is Team Alex?
Unrepresented,
Not interested.
apparently.
Yeah.
Not interested in us. They're like, no thanks.
We tried. If anyone's watching and actually cares, we tried. We invited everybody.
We did.
These are the
We
ones
did,
that
yes.
wanted
We
to
did
come.
invite everybody.
That's true.
Everyone was invited. Everybody said they couldn't do it except for us. So.
All right, can I just get something off my chest?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You guys see the pictures of the BB house?
I did, yeah.
What the? That's the worst. It's the worst one ever, right?
It's
You think so?
different.
It's different. It's definitely different.
I just want to know when did Donald Trump find time to design a Big Brother house? Because I thought he was the president now, but like that's like his aesthetic.
Yeah, it's definitely a different vibe, that's for sure. Lots of mirrors, lots of, things that don't really
Apples.
need to be
A
there.
whole orchard.
Yeah, I don't get
What
the
the-
wall of apples. It's a little strange.
And then
Yeah,
like if
very
you guys, I don't know if you guys saw that video where Julie does the tour. She does that every year,
Mhm.
and like she clearly wasn't feeling it. Like she, props to her because she was doing her job. She was using all the right words, but like in her soul, she walked into that apple room and she was like, "And here there are more apples." As
She's
you
like,
can
and
see,
this is great.
yes.
Although if
Here
they're
are
doing
some
the
words.
temptation thing, they've got the Adam and Eve, like kind of with the apple and etc.
Yeah, but isn't it like 7 deadly sins? But they only picked
Yeah,
5.
Exactly.
I don't know. I
I don't-
really don't. I mean, I don't think we will fully know. Although I don't really ever understand the theme. So
No, I feel like the past 3 years it's been like summer camp theme. So
Yeah.
It's been like that since we were all born.
it's interesting because the logos it's different this year. They're
Yeah,
going
I
back
saw
to like
that.
the old logo.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
they
I'm
got rid
wondering
of
if
the.
they're gonna go back to the old intro or if they're hopefully going to do the key rotation instead of just the memory wall.
I
that,
hope.
It
like,
seems
light up.
like well, they're going back to old cast too. Like they've got
Yeah.
old
Get back to
people
the
again.
basics. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the concept or something.
I-
They're trying to bring back the people who've been complaining on Facebook for 20 years.
Yeah. Every comment I see on the Big Brother Facebook, like it's always like, Frankie, no thanks. I won't be
Yeah.
watching. It's
Every
like every comment
single
like that.
time, every single time.
It's like Frankie hasn't been on for 2 years. Like, come on.
I saw one the other day
Get
that was
over
like,
it.
"Dear Big Brother producers, please never bring back any returning people. And if you have to do it, please don't bring back Frankie. But if you have to bring him back, just don't bring back Amanda. Like that'll be the last straw. He was a bully."
Wow.
Keeps going down the list. But if you have to bring back
Right.
Amanda.
Because they'll still watch. We're all still going
Exactly.
to watch.
We can
Okay.
complain as much as we want, but
So, draft.
We're on a schedule here. Let's do
Yeah,
this.
schedule.
We've all seen the cast. Melissa, you and Rob and Brent, you did a nice half assessment the other day.
Thank you.
And then we had the men did some assessing. So I think that people know a little bit about the cast, but maybe we'll go as we start doing the drafting. We'll kind of talk about what we think about them. But in the interest of time, let's start doing a draft. We're each going to get 4 people because there's 16 people. And in our random order generator, Cam gets to go first. So you're going to pick the first person. And then we're going to do this
boy.
like all drafts, right? It's a snake draft.
Mhm.
Did you guys do you want to discuss before we start that though? Like, how is it just who wins? Like, who's the winner of the whole game? Or are we going to do like how many HOHs and competitions? Like, what's our criteria?
We're just gonna do straight up winner.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
I like it. Less
I was going
complicated.
yeah.
Good. Alrighty. All right,
All right,
Cam.
Cam. Who's number 1 draft pick?
Who is
Oh,
it?
this is the easiest choice in the world. I'm surprised I got one. I'm going with Christmas. My
Makes
number 1
sense.
pick.
Makes sense. Yep.
I'm not
I mean-
surprised.
I mean, she's the most well-rounded house guest there is. I mean, but first, let's talk about what do you think about her saying that she's single, but she's apparently engaged to somebody like going into the house?
I think there was probably like a misunderstanding. This is turning into like a big conspiracy, and it's going to be like the big thing. But I think that she probably just misspoke at one point.
I mean,
maybe,
don't we think she broke off her engagement? That was what I had heard.
That's what I thought. I heard that she was engaged. Yeah, I heard she was engaged before this too, and broke that off, and then was engaged again.
Well, if that's the case, then maybe she's not that well-rounded.
I don't know.
Want to rethink your pick, Kim?
No.
We'll find something out when she gets in the house.
Right.
She's gonna be crazy or something.
Some tea on the feeds or something.
Yeah, she's gonna be another Janelle.
she's been too good in her interviews, I think. I don't know. Something's off. It's got to be, or else she's perfect.
Yeah, but she's
definitely on paper. She's a pretty good choice.
Yeah.
She's got a social media following, right? So like we know that the way they do these games now, everyone's got to vote. We know that Julie and all the producers they like the involvement. They're like the big lesson from BBOTT was that the fans definitely need to be more involved.
Oh, God.
So I think that's probably going to help her. And then she's super fit. She said Helen is like her favorite player ever. That's got to count for something.
Yeah, she served in the NASCAR pit crew.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which they'll probably do a NASCAR pit crew themed challenge at some point this season, right?
Without a doubt.
I can see that. Like that actually kind of seems like a BB style challenge.
Yeah.
She seems easy to get along with too. I thought it was interesting though in her like Hollywood Reporter interview or maybe it was her, I don't remember which interview it was. I think it was Hollywood Reporter where they asked her like who her favorite player was and she couldn't remember any of the names. She's like, I don't know. And he's like, you can't remember one name?
But then she did eventually remember for one of her other interviews. So I believe that she's watched the show quite a bit. I think she maybe just kind of got frazzled. I mean, I'll be honest. Like at the beginning of this thing, I got nervous and I couldn't remember half your names. So like I can understand.
Like who are you people?
It's
what
really
am I
tricky.
doing here?
Yeah.
All right, who's got next pick then? I guess we should mark off when people are.
Jen. It goes Cam, Jen, Melissa, John. Cam, Jen. Melissa, John. So you're up.
And is somebody writing down these picks, or are we just gonna
I'm writing them down. I mean, we can all write it down, but I got it.
All right.
All right. I think I'm gonna go with Matt as my first pick.
Easy.
Right.
I just feel like he's so well rounded. It's like he's a nice guy. He's athletic, and I think he has a good sense of strategy. Hopefully, I mean, we'll find out.
See, Alex is real big on him, so like it's kind of making me like more on him.
He knows Alex, so add on to that.
Yeah, because that was gonna be my first pick, but I was like, I'm not gonna stay away from Christmas because Christmas, like I said, she has everything. I think like Matthew. I mean, he can get himself in trouble because like he's a sales guy, so he could try to play too hard, too fast, and be out in the second, third week. So.
Yeah.
Didn't he was talking about how he was open to a showmance though. I'm always wary of that. I know Nicole ended up kind of winning with the showmance strategy.
I just hope he doesn't get in one. That's just I'm just hoping he doesn't.
I think you can never tell with interviews in the beginning because a lot of people will say like, oh, I don't want a showmance. No way. And then they'll get in one. I mean, Ika was like, you think I'm going to get in a showmance? And then,
Yeah, but did she win? This is a winner's draft.
Okay, all right. Well, she did really well.
I mean, I love that's. I don't want to throw shade to Ika. I'm just saying, like, if we're going by winner's draft, then you're comparing him to Ika, then that's not a successful pick. Yeah. I just don't know if he looks like a winner. Like, let's look at all the previous winners. I don't know.
He looks
like a winner.
I don't know. I just
feel like none of the winners look like each other.
Right. I feel like they're all somewhat different. I don't know.
Do you guys remember a couple years? I don't remember what year this was. It might have been after Survivor Heroes Villains, but it was after like some big landmark Survivor season. They did in the reunion. Jeff Probst was like, "We took a photo of every winner and we mashed them all up, and like this is what the winner of Survivor looks like." And it was like a horrible thing.
You're like, no,
because it wasn't like a blend. They like photoshopped. They were like, "Here's Sandra's nose," and like, "Here's Yule's eyes." And it was horrible.
Oh boy!
But that's the metric I'm using in this draft, just so you guys know. I have a mashup of all 19/20 Big Brother winners, and that's what I'm going by. The one that looks the most like that.
So now it's me, right?
Yeah, you're up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Jessica.
Oh, that's an interesting pick.
Yeah, I loved all of her interviews so far. I think that she's got Janelle upside. I think that there's a total possibility that she could go in there and just kill it. And she seems motivated to win. And she's a huge fan of the show. She's been watching for a long time. She said she almost puts herself into super fan category. So, I like her. I got to give it to her. I think she's got a good chance.
But
go for it.
I'm about to say, wouldn't you say that she's the most likely to be in a showman song?
I don't know. She kept saying she didn't want to be in a showman. So I don't know. I don't necessarily see her getting into a showman's. But if she does, whatever. Showmances can help you win. They can get you further. So I still like her.
I have two things to say about Jessica. The first one, I guess I have three things. I thought she was that person from American Ninja Warrior, but she's not. That's the first thing I have to say about her.
Okay.
The second thing is that she describes in the Hollywood Reporter interview why she likes Janelle so much. And Janelle's one of those go-to people that a lot of people like. She's a great, especially if you're a female and you want to be the next great female player, like you're going to throw out Janelle's name. But I feel like Jessica like described Janelle's game in a way that I feel like she gets it. It's not just like she was like, oh, who are the greats? I'm going to throw out that name. Like I think that she gets why Janelle was a good player. So I think that's a positive thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
And then here's another observation. In the CBS interview, she says, what would you take into the house and why, if you could take anything? And she says, I would take Instagram. How do I go 3 months without spying on people? What the hell is Big Brother if not 3 months of spying on people?
That's so true. Although she doesn't really get to spy.
That's true.
She could hide.
She could just watch the HOH feed.
Need I remind you of Big Brother All-Stars Allison hiding in a pot and spying?
Need I remind you? And you know,
my favorite thing ever.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just want everyone to think about Allison hiding in a pot. Funniest thing. It'll never be topped.
We've all got it in our brains. Got it.
Thank you.
All right. Go ahead, John. Your turn.
I mean, you guys took all the good ones right away, right? So this is completely selfish of me, but I'd like to think that someday perhaps I'll play Big Brother, and so I'm gonna go and be super vain and go with a person that I think is kind of the person that I would play like, and so I'm gonna go with Cameron.
I knew you were going there.
I think that he's got he's obviously in that archetype so much so that CBS like throws it right in his face in the interview. They're like, "Are you Ian or Steve? Which one are you?" But I don't really. I mean, he's definitely in that archetype, but I don't see that much of him in there. Like in the picture, they got the glasses on him and like the polo shirt, and a lot of the questions he's got sort of that archetype. But like in the interview with Big Jeff, he seemed much more cool. And I don't mean cool like hip and rad. I just mean like he played it cool. I think he's gonna have a better social game than a lot of the nerdy archetypes that we see. And even like Ian obviously is a winner and Steve's a winner, but I think he probably will have a better social game going into the house than even they did. That's my prediction anyway.
I think it's.
Go ahead.
I think his biggest issue. I think he made me too cocky because he seemed like a guy that was kind of like so full of himself. And I
did write that down.
Ronnie instead of more of like an Ian. Like Alex said this last night about that. So I was like,
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Although I think it's really funny in all of the interviews how they're always like, yeah, but like, how's your social game going to be? Like, everyone's so nervous for him. And he keeps being like, I throw parties. I live with 7 guys. I'm really cool. And it's so funny how he has to keep like defending himself in order to like not seem nerdy.
Right.
I think that he's the only person that I remember in any of the interviews and the stuff that I read and watched that he actually referenced Over the Top. He actually watched all of Over the Top, which, good for him on that. But also, we know based on some of the comments that like Julie and the producers have made that they might implement some of that stuff. They want to have more of that fan involvement, and so he might have a leg up if he's expecting some of the votes, like the fan votes, like if that happens. So I think that's another thing he has in his favor.
Oh yeah, that's true. That actually is true.
I saw his interview with Ika. He was saying that like he thinks he's going to be like a hybrid of her and Dimitri. So apparently he's going to have
like
a bomb social game. And be good at comps. But
I feel like I don't see that happening.
I don't either, but I was like, bring on, buddy. We'll see.
I mean, Steve won a few comps in his season. Like every year, the fans and the viewers and the podcasters and even the contestants, they talk about like who's going to be good and who's not going to be good at comps. But like half of the comps are just like stand on a wall as long as you can, or like hold a chicken egg as long as you can through a metal thing. Like I think he has just as much a chance as anybody else to be good at least some of the comps.
I think like my thing was more that I don't see him being like Ika at all.
Me neither.
No.
Like, I don't get that vibe from him.
No.
Well, we'll see when there's like an offering of fan letters, like who does what. We'll see if he's like Ika. And then I get to go again if we're doing the classical snake draft, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna keep this moving since I've got an appointment later. My next pick is actually going to be Mark Jansen, age 26.
That was my pick.
Yeah, tough.
You just took it off me.
I really like Mark because when I saw his picture, I thought I knew exactly what he was going to be like. And then I saw the interview and I read his stats and I read his stuff. And he's much more well-rounded. We've been talking about well-rounded all night, but like he's very well-rounded. He looks like a big dumb jock, but he referenced like a bunch of old seasons of the shows, and he just seems like he's really
real nice guy.
Yeah, he seems like a good guy, but he seems like he knows the show. Like if you look at his picture, you can name 5 people from previous seasons that looks like, and those are not good Big Brother players. Right. But he, I think, actually has a little bit of history in his head. He seems to understand a little bit of the dynamics. He seems to understand about sort of the way that alliances work and stuff. Like he doesn't seem like he's just going to be like, let's pick a bro and bro out until the final 2 and then see who wins. Like I think he's going to surprise people. And so that's why he's my second pick.
No, I agree with you. He was going to be my pick. He surprised me in the interviews because, he's nothing like what you would imagine him to be. I mean, he's a fan of the show. He applied. Right. Like, he was not a recruit, even though you might think he would be a recruit. He actually applied for the show. And I mean, if you read his stuff, it's, like, very different from what you would expect. I mean, he lost both of his parents. Like, I can't believe that. That's just, like, crazy. He's had a crazy life so far. So, I'm very mad. I would have picked him. So now I got to come up with something else.
Yeah, you're next. You got to pick the next person.
Yes, I'm next. All right. Oh, boy. Well, I guess I'm going to pick Megan. She is a fan of the show. She's been watching for a while. She knows, all the previous players. She, did her homework. She watched, rap videos, and she watched other past Big Brother player videos and other podcasts. She really pays attention to that stuff. She goes on the Big Brother subreddit, but I don't think she necessarily comes across as like one of those super fan types. So I think that could get her pretty far. She also seems pretty, kind of plain, I want to say, but not to be mean, but she just seems kind of like even keel. And so maybe she'll just float through. People won't really notice her, and she'll make it, and then halfway through kind of like implement a strategy. I don't know, but I don't know.
I think her biggest thing with me is she got that Rachel laugh. Like
you're like, I'm done.
I'm tired.
Not having it.
It's been a few years since we've heard the Rachel laugh. I kind of miss it. I'm fine.
It did sound like it though.
It did.
She laughed. There's no way. Yeah.
You said, Melissa, you said that you think that she'll get halfway through and then develop a strategy, but on the CBS page, she actually has a pretty detailed strategy already outlined. And one of the things in my notes I have is that I liked her strategy. A lot of times you see people, they don't have any strategy, aka Jason. And then you see a lot of people who have these really long strategies, but they're too in-depth. And I think she kind of hits a nice middle ground where she has like steps laid out, but I think there's a little bit of wiggle room. I'm not going to read this entire thing, but she's got like she wants to make a friends with the biggest guy in the house and have a gym buddy so that like they have time together every day working out together and they're going to win comps together. Then she's going to start picking out house guests that she doesn't like. Then she's going to have a secret final 2 alliance with the one whiny crying girl that nobody likes. So she's basically got 2 final 2s that she's going to have, and that's just kind of how she's going to like sort of ride it out.
Who do we think her gym buddy is going to be, Mark?
Mark's the biggest guy. I think that's an easy one.
Or maybe Christmas, because she'll be like, hey, wait, she's going to win comps. You never know.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
We will see. We shall see.
Matthew talks about the gym a lot. Like, he doesn't necessarily look super ripped, but in his profile, he was like, one of the most important things in my life is weightlifting.
Mm-hmm. Like, really?
So it could be him.
Yeah, could be. All right. Next.
Jen. All right. I guess. Okay, I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna pick Josh, which I'm on the fence about, but I feel
I like him.
No, he could be out first week though.
Exactly, I know, but I feel like he has the right
happening.
mindset. Like
I don't think so.
Cutthroat.
That's a risky pick.
I know. He's either gonna be like
he knows the game though.
All right, hot take of the night. I think that everyone is comparing him to Jose. I don't think he's as train wreck as Jose. I think he was super jazzed up, as Big Jeff said. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's gonna win. Sorry, Jen, but I don't think he's gonna win. But I do think he's better than Jose. I think that he's super, super, super excited in that interview. But I think that he's got a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah. I mean, everybody hated Paul.
Yeah, I could see him having like a similar Paul trajectory where he's hot and he's cold and like he's in hot water one week and then he's not in hot water.
Yeah. I mean, like I think he's very loud and outgoing in his interviews. Like maybe he's not going to be exactly this way when he makes it into the house. And I also think that I don't see him getting out first. I just don't. Yeah. I see him, I don't see him doing like offensive things. I think that the things he does are like kind of funny and out there, but I don't see people being like so turned off by him right away that they want to get him out.
So like the thing is, like a lot of people compare him to Jose right now. A lot of people are comparing him to Devin, but I think that Devin, I mean, I'm not talking about in real life, but I'm just talking about in the game. I think Devin was like scary. He was confrontational, and I think Jose was like annoying. And I think that Josh seems like a handful, but he seems super nice and super charismatic. And I don't think he seems scary or threatening or annoying. Like it depends on your personality. Like it might grate on you a little bit. We've got an older cast. People like Kevin may not like that amount of young energy. But I don't think that he has the like aggressive, threatening, or like train wrecky energy of Jose and Devin. So I don't think he's going to win, but I think that he could last longer than Jose and Devin.
Yeah. I just thought he had like a good mindset of the game and know what he's like talking about, know what he's doing. And he just
he's the one.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And he's willing to fight a mosquito.
I mean, yeah.
he was the one who wanted to fight the mosquito, so that's a big one.
Yeah, the most important question was asked there.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Also, there's a chat that on the YouTube thing. I just realized Big Brother Ant is in there right now, and so if anybody wants to comment on our picks or anything like that, who's watching, that would be great because we'd love to know what you guys are thinking.
Yeah, and thank you also.
We have viewers right now. We actually do. We're not alone.
Thank you also, Big Brother Ant, for tracking who picked who, because I'm writing it down, but I might miss somebody, so that's good.
All right,
Cam's up. We're almost halfway through.
So I got the next 2 picks, right?
Yeah, you get to.
Yep.
Okay. So I guess I got to make my next 2 picks good because I know I'm gonna get stuck with probably Alex.
Yeah, you're not gonna get to pick the last one.
Yeah.
You're like great.
Yeah. So my first pick is gonna be Ramses with an S.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I feel like that's a real solid choice. Super fan, just like Cameron. But I feel like one of those players, either Cameron or Ramses, is gonna be out probably week 3 because I feel like they're just not gonna get along at all.
They both have a similar like archetype in terms of the casting. Like they're like the nerdy super fan, but I don't think that they're very similar. I think that they, I don't think that they're gonna like have to fight for the same spot. Like Ramses has a much more youthful, energetic like vigor, and Cameron he's just a little bit older, but he's a little more chill, I think. So I don't disagree with you, but I could see a way where they both might make it pretty far. Who knows? They might get along and work together too.
Yeah, like I said, I just feel like Ramses has, again, real solid second pick. I'm surprised he actually stayed on the board because, like I said, I thought that Megan was going to be the pick I was going to have, but I love Ramses. Solid pick.
Yeah, no, I think Ramses is likable. I think that, he's like got the whole super fan nerd kind of thing going on, but I think he's likable. I think he's easy to talk to. It's like the age thing is a little iffy, but because he's the youngest, like pretty much everyone else is like way older. But I do like him as a pick. I think that he's, I don't see him rubbing people the wrong way right away unless like he's totally different than how he is in his interviews. But yeah, I could see him going pretty far.
Yeah, if he lays low, I think it'd be fine because he's real charismatic, bubbly. I think the only thing that could get him in trouble is this is an older cast. I think if he was on last year's season or the season before, I think he would have probably done a little bit better, maybe than this season. But we'll figure it out once the season starts.
Yeah, it's funny. Like he, and I don't mean like to compare his personality or like what his social life in real life might be like, but he almost has like a Glenn thing going where he's almost the age outlier here. Like Kevin is the oldest and such, but like because the whole cast is a little bit older, like I feel like Ramses may be the sort of fish out of water with this cast that's kind of in their late 20s, early to mid 30s. He might be the one that doesn't fit in, which would be really weird, like a really weird reversal.
Mm-hmm. All right, you have another pick, right, Cam?
Yeah, who's your second?
Okay.
Dominique is my next pick.
All right.
All right, you're going to have to explain that one to me.
I mean, pretty much, Dominique, I was between Dominique and Elena. I wasn't sure who I was going to pick, but I got to pick Dominique because I feel like she's real smart, ultra smart, real charismatic, bubbly, kind of like Ramsey's. And I feel like she's probably one of the best person of color that Big Brother's cast in a long time, in my opinion.
My concern with her, just based on the preseason stuff, is that, and I wrote this down, she seems really Jesus-y. And I don't mean that that's a bad thing in real life. Obviously, that's not a bad thing in real life. But historically, in the game, if you look at the most like outwardly, like publicly religious people, they don't tend to do so well. They don't tend to handle the game very well. Jocasta is the one that kind of comes to my mind. And so I don't know if she'll be able to read the room necessarily in the house, you know?
Yeah, but one thing that I really liked with her in her Big Jeff interview was that she was using a lot of big words, and Jeff didn't know. Like, he was like, "Oh my God!" Like, it's kind of hilarious to me.
I mean, if you can outsmart Big Jeff, then you probably have a pretty good footing.
Yeah, I think my one struggle with her is that she doesn't seem to know the game very well. I think, was she the one when they asked her who's your favorite player or whatever, and they were like, "Oh, are you quizzing me? Like, why are you quizzing me?" It's like, this isn't a quiz, just answer it. Like, we want to know who your favorite player is. But so I don't know. I feel like she doesn't really know the game, and I think that could hurt her.
Especially in this cast, like I feel like we have more super fans than normal and more like higher than average fans. So that's another way that she might sort of get isolated if she doesn't know what's coming up next.
I think she'll have a good enough social game to make it by, though. I feel like, you know, like I said, I don't feel like she has problems making friends with people. And I feel like she'll learn the game as it progresses, kind of like Paul did last season.
Sure, and he's a really great example of somebody who some of my friends, obviously when we did BB18, none of us were like doing podcasting and stuff. So this was just in real life. But me and some of my friends did like a little mini draft, and we all picked Paul to go home first because his preseason stuff was really bad. And then even like in episode 1, week 1, like he did very poorly, but then he learned very quickly. And I still think that that's one of the best things about season 18. I think several years from now, we'll be talking like Big Brother 18, like watching Paul know nothing and then almost beat like a returning player. Like his learning curve was just so sharp. And so, yeah, I would love to see that from Dominique. I don't dislike her. I don't have as high hopes as you do.
Yeah. Right. No, I mean, it's totally a thing where it's, I was shocked the way Paul ended up playing the game in the end. When I saw him at first in the interviews, I was like, oh my God, no way. Get this guy out of here. He's so annoying. But then halfway through, I was like, wow, this guy's actually really good. I'm very impressed. So and that's such a hard thing to pick out at this stage. Like, we haven't seen them in the house. We have no idea what they're going to be like actually, because people are different than their interviews all the time. So it's hard to be like, oh, well, I'm going to bank on this person like picking it up real quick, because you have no idea.
Right. None of us know. We just do this because we're psychotic and we have a need for attention.
Also, I just want to say that Fat Tyson Apostle in the chat just said, will Taryn take credit for another win if one of Team Taryn wins the draft? Yes, he will. He will for sure be like, wow, another draft win for Team Taryn.
He's got a 75% chance.
I know he really does, though.
I'm going to play the spoiler right there.
And then Cam's going to win. All right, so next pick is Jen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I was gonna pick Dominique, but since Cam picked her,
interesting.
I guess I'm gonna go with Raven, just because she seems very okay. There's not much good left to pick from, so I'm pushing it here. But I think she seems very unintimidating and can just weasel her way through and maybe luck into a win. I mean, I don't think she's gonna win, but I just think she's the most unintimidating, and she seems really friendly and can connect with people. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say because I just keep associating her with Bronte, and so I can't really see past it. But she could be totally different in the house. Yeah. Like, I keep saying that, but I'm like a broken record. But it's really true. You have no idea. So, I mean, I could see her just being nice and friendly and, you know, maybe strategic. Who knows? So
people keep comparing her. People keep comparing her to Bronte, but I kind of think that her cast pick looks a little bit like Shelby from OTT. Like something in the way that she smiles. I'm not crazy, right? Okay, good.
No, you're crazy.
Well, no more crazy than usual. Yeah, I don't see any strategy from her. That was like my one note. I set out to take I wanted to have a couple notes on each person. And like by the time I got to Raven, I was just like, has a stomach pacemaker, likes Frankie Grande, doesn't seem to have much strategy going on.
My thing is, I don't want her to use the pacemaker as a crutch. Like, I'm afraid that she may use that, you know, kind of like a couple seasons ago when what was it, Aubrey? When she didn't get her way, you know, was talking about, hey, she, you know, she's transgender and stuff like that.
Yeah, see, that's the thing with Raven. Although I will say that Raven, she applied and she's a fan of the show. So she does have that going in her favor. She's not just some recruit. So, you know, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, she's one of the ones that I don't even care on.
I
She's
wasn't
one of the few.
planning on it, but it's the one that looked the best to me who was left.
A lot of people this season in their what they would take into the house with them said that they would take their dog. I think almost every single person's a dog owner. I don't know if that'll come into play.
Except Whistlenut. He said he'd bring in his bull. So that's that.
Yeah, that's right. Whistlenut. I'm glad you brought that up. Because I just want everyone to know about Whistlenut. Can we just agree as like a group of friends, but also like people who tweet about this, like do not refer to him by his real name ever. He's 100% forever Whistlenut.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Did you see that answer to the question he gave? Like we're talking about him even though we're not even supposed to, but he gave answer to the question that was like, "Oh, are you in this for the fame?" He's like, "Of course I am." Like what rodeo clown doesn't want to be famous? It's like, oh my God.
Which means that there's a whole group of people who are like, "I want to be world famous. What's the best path?" Like musician, no. Actor, no. Rodeo cowboy. That's it. Like,
wow.
How many household rodeo cowboy names are there?
It's not even a cowboy. It's a rodeo clown.
Right.
Don't give him the privilege of being a cowboy.
Yeah.
So great.
Well, he's just as a reminder, one of the people that is still available. If you think that he's going to win,
just putting that out there.
Whistlenut's going to win. He's on the list, and it is your turn, Melissa. You could have Whistlenut.
Oof, boy. Okay. So I'm kind of going back and forth on this one, but I think I'm going to do a controversial pick. Not sure if it's actually controversial, but I've been going back and forth on this person for a while and tweeting almost nonstop about this one person. So I am going to pick Cody. Because I have, okay, and I could be totally wrong on this, but I have some sort of inkling that like he's going to be better than he comes off in his interviews. I have some sort of inkling that he is. And everybody's saying like, oh my God, this is the train wreck guy. This is the guy that's going to cause the fights. This is, you know, the horrible guy. And I want to say that okay. Like in the beginning, when it first came out, his stuff, I was like, okay, I like this guy. I'm into him. He's different. He has a different pace than everyone else. Like I'm into him. And then like his other interviews started coming out and I was like, ooh, I don't know anymore. Like he called superfans dweebs, first of all. Yeah. Second of all, he harps on that victim noises thing, which like I have no idea what it means. Like I'm very confused by it and I'm like slightly offended by it, but I don't know if I should be. Like I feel like I'm like offended, but I don't know why.
It just sounds, it sounds like you're supposed to be.
Yeah, it sounds like you're supposed to be. It sounds like victim blaming or something, but like I don't know. And you know what? So we'll see. And I could totally regret this. I feel like I'm going to go back and be like, what was I thinking? I was a total idiot. And I'm going to have to like retract all my statements on Twitter, but I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to go with my gut and go with Cody.
Something about Cody makes me want to talk about this, which is the evil dick of it all. More than one person this season has brought up that their favorite player, the most influential player in their mind is Evil Dick. And in the video that got published yesterday or today where Julie does that walkthrough of the house, the guy that's with her, whose name I can't remember, they bring up Evil Dick in that video. And they're like, we haven't had anyone like Evil Dick since then. We haven't had any like super villains since then. And so I kind of wonder if Robin Cast and the other casting people, like maybe they're trying to find their next like super villain for some reason. Because more than one person is like, oh, that's my favorite person. That's who I want to be. And that's what I see from Cody. And my critique of that is that we remember, because it's been a long time, right? Big Brother 8 was more like 10 years ago, more than. Evil Dick wasn't just banging pots and pans and being mean and like throwing things and like whatever and being mean to Jen. Like, he had a really good social game that, I mean, you know, there's a lot of people have strong opinions about Evil Dick, and I don't want to like go to bat for him, you know, to the ends of the earth. But if he was just an asshole, he would have been voted out. Like, he had a very strong, positive social game, and he was very good at a lot of other things, which is why his villainy worked really well. And I think that's something that's gotten lost in the last 10 years. And so I guess this is two thoughts, but my one thought is that I think maybe that's what Big Brother's trying to recapture, is like some supervillain, and I think they want it to be Cody. But I'm worried that Cody and the other people, they may have not realized that Dick could also be really nice, and like really he could connect with a lot of people in a way that not everyone else could too. It wasn't just the evil, it was also like the social game.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it's interesting that so many people brought up Evil Dick this year. Like, it feels kind of out of the blue, but like I don't think he's ever been mentioned this much, unless it was like who was like the meanest or whatever, who's the best villain or something. I don't know. It's weird.
But I think it comes to a testament of how many actual fans they cast this season, because last season, how many actual fans were cast?
I don't know, but it was probably like 0.
Probably not many.
There were so many recruits before. This year, I mapped it all out, and there's way more fans, or at least maybe they're recruits, but they're fans. I mapped out like who applied and who was a recruit, but then also who was a fan and not a fan. And some of the recruits were actually fans. Which I feel like that's super important.
Yeah, well, it seems like one person, I don't remember who it was, said that they got recruited like through Instagram. Like, I think that the producers are reaching out in different ways now, and so that even if you're a recruit, you're not necessarily like a actor or whatever we think of when we think of recruits historically. Like, there might be people who have watched the show. Like, you know, we live in a world where CBS All Access and YouTube, like, it's easy to have seen the show, even if you aren't like a super fan or whatever. But let's move on.
Does anyone know? Wait, but does anyone know? Like, have a theory as to what Cody's talking about when he keeps saying like it was a long process for his casting?
He's like, it took longer than most. I'm like, what does that even mean?
Yeah,
like,
it makes me think that he was like at a bar or something, and
or maybe he failed like the psych test or something the first time around.
It's totally possible that someone. Because I do know that like when somebody recruits someone, they usually invite them to casting. So it's not like they just like let them on the show after like recruiting them. They must have just reached out to him or found him somewhere and been like, hey, do you want to try out? And then they did a back and forth with him. And then we're like, okay, come to this casting call. Does it like, I just feel like that's the way it is. I don't think it's like some like secretive thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, so I have no idea. But that means, John, your turn.
Yeah, I get 2 people. And maybe this will be the most controversial pick of the night, but I'm going with Whistle Nut.
Yay!
That's who I want. I want Whistle Nut. And the reason I want Whistle Nut is because he's goofy and he's silly, and none of us take him seriously. And that means that unless he does something absolutely heinous, he's getting top 5. Easy.
Easy, yeah.
You know, someone, I don't remember who it was, someone actually mentioned Big Brother 5 in this cast, and like Big Brother 5, who got second place was like the goofy cowboy that nobody took seriously. And if we expand to other shows, if we're talking Survivor or even like Amazing Race, like we get characters that are like this, who are goofy, like cowboy, clowny type people, and they tend to do well. They may not win, but like they tend to go really, really deep. And so I know we're doing a draft to pick who's going to win, but like if he gets to the top 5 or 4 or 3, you know, at that point, like, you know, chance could prevail. What if he gets to the end with Cody and then everyone hates him because he's evil, and then he could win? So I think we're all. I don't think in 1 year's time we're going to say that Whistle Nut is a BB great, but I do think that there's a way that he could actually win.
Legend Whistle Nut.
Although he doesn't watch the show at all. They like asked him, have you ever watched? He's like, I'm going to be honest, I've never watched the show.
Yeah, he had the shortest bios ever. Like,
but does he have a strategy? Yes.
He does have that. He does have a strategy. Yes.
And then again, I was saying earlier about like how the fans are getting more and more involved in every season, and this is now post OTT world. He could have Donnie upside. Like he could be like this goofy, lovable person that America loves, and like he could get a lot of favors that way.
Very true.
He could.
That's why I picked him.
All right. Okay, next pick, John.
All right, so
get another one.
This is my last pick, and so I'm gonna have to. I don't think any of the people that are left are gonna win, but I'm gonna go with Elena.
That was gonna be my next pick. You keep stealing mine.
Well, that's how it works.
I hate this snake draft.
It's the most fair draft. You could have picked her earlier. Here's why I like Elena, and I don't know if I like her like I like her, but here's why I think that she could go deep and possibly win. Number one, she knows Corey from Big Brother 18.
Yep.
She kind of dodged it, and she was like, "Oh, we have a lot of same friends, and we've been in the same house, and like we pet the same goat one time." Like, I think that she knows Corey, and I'm not saying that he's like a big mastermind, but like Corey could, like, just by osmosis, have learned something last year. So I bet Corey dropped her some knowledge. So that's number one. Number two, she describes herself as like an abrasive radio personality. And I know people on the Big Brother subreddit have been talking about how she's like on the radio and she's really loud and annoying and abrasive. And that reminds me of a certain rock star from Big Brother Over the Top who we all underestimated. And she didn't win, but she made the final, the final round. And one of her fun facts was that she swam with dolphins one time. So that's, how can I not pick that person?
Gotta go for it. Yep. Alrighty.
So, I mean, we're at the bottom of our draft.
I know
I don't think she's going to be the winner, but I think out of the 4 people left, I think she's got the best chance.
Oh, most definitely.
So now it's my turn then. I am going to go with Jillian. I think that she's, just kind of
bottom
there.
Two. Yeah.
She could be one of those people who could just end up kind of going through to the end because you don't notice her. She seems kind of the type that would be nice and friendly to people and would get along fine with people, but wouldn't really cause waves. And it gets to the point where people just don't really notice her. I feel like other people's personalities may kind of go out to the forefront and she'll kind of fade to the background and be forgotten. That could be totally wrong, but it just seems that way from her interviews because all of her interviews are just like kind of forgettable. So, I think that it's a possibility that she could make to the end. I mean, she could have an amazing strategy. She could, win a bunch of comps, but I don't really see that happening. So I think her best chance of making it to the end is just blending into the background at this point.
I agree because I feel like in her interview, she was talking about how she wanted to be with the boys and wanted to get rid of the girls. And she wanted to play a game like Christine did, which I think that's the worst person to
anyway, you don't want to play like them.
No.
Yeah, no.
I mean, no. It got her to what, 5th, 6th place? So, I mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's like, could get her through, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Here's what I think about Jillian. I think that she will make it at least halfway just based on the fact that I think that she's a nice looking blonde woman. Like, I think that, and she wants to work with the guys. Like, I think that, based on looks alone, I think that she's going to be able to get in with the guys and work with them. Something else I want to bring up, though, is that I think that she's going to be a little bit tone deaf. I don't know if anyone, and I'm not referring to the Whitney Houston video that's been going around, but I don't know. There was a couple questions, and I think it was on the Hollywood Reporter interview where they were talking about her social media presence, and she was like, "Oh, I blocked everything on social media. I don't want anyone to find anything on my social media." And she says that she's like a strong, proud Republican, and she's worried about what people will think if they find out like what she believes in and things like that. And I think that some of these other personalities in the house aren't going to necessarily jive with that. Like, I think in 1 month in, she's going to be okay. But I think like 2 months in, 3 months in, she might start getting a little bit comfortable, forget the cameras are there. And I'd like to nominate her early for an Aaron Grease Williams Award. Someone's going to put, I think she's most likely to put her foot in her mouth.
Yeah.
Just a couple of her comments about how she wants to hide her social media and she doesn't like certain types of people.
What are you saying on your social media accounts if you're like, I don't want anyone getting in there?
Especially because, like, if look at her, she's like a 24-year-old, like a cute blonde, like nice person from Florida. Like, if she's got like something that she's terrified of people finding on her social media, I think maybe she might. I'm not trying to say she's a bad person. I don't know her. I'm just saying like she might say something that she doesn't mean to say, and it might rub some people the real wrong way.
That would be, that kind of throws me off that she's like, I want to like close off all my social media. Like, I understand like going back and like deleting anything that people might like not like, but like hiding everything, it seems a little
suspect.
Yeah, a little suspect. So I don't know, but who knows? Maybe she'll pull a Christine and then make her way to the end and then lose, and then I lose the draft. Great. Oh well, whatever. All right, whose turn is it?
I think it's mine.
It's Jen's turn, and there's a right answer and a wrong answer here, Jen.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I'm gonna
go. Cam isn't gonna help you.
No. I'm going to go ahead and pick that Kevin, whatever the hell his last name is. I feel like every time I watched his interview, he would just babble on, and I enjoyed listening to him. He might not have the best game sense. I don't think he's going to win. But as a person, I enjoy him. And, yeah.
I feel like he never really quite understands the questions and the directions that the interviews are supposed to be going in.
Jeff was like, "Oh, are you willing to backstab people?" He's like, "Wait, literally?"
Yeah, he's like, "Wait,
no."
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's getting himself into. He just
not
doesn't.
At all. And I feel like if he can maybe make it past the first week, he could potentially become a GOAT later on to drag to the end. I don't know.
That's true. No, and if you listen to like the K Frog or whatever interviews, he was just like talking for a pretty long time about like his daughter in high school and his son and like all this various stuff. Like it's as if I'm like eavesdropping on like a mom's soccer game like conversation or something, because it's just like talking about the kids. It's like, wait, hold on. Like, this is an interview for Big Brother. What's going on?
Right.
So it's you know what? You have two to choose from.
I mean, I'm surprised he dropped this far, to be honest with you.
I am too. I was thinking about picking him earlier.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something about him. Like he could be the next Glenn or whatever, but you know, I don't know. He's different. Like he's not just another old person that they've cast. Like he's not just the token old guy that's going to go home week 1. I mean, he might go home week 1, but there's something about him, and I can't put my finger on it. He seems like a little more savvy, and he's been around the block a few times. He might be playing up to the cameras a little bit. He might be playing up to Big Jeff a little bit. I don't know if he's going to be like the next, mastermind, but he who knows? And this is the same, 2017. This is the year that Karen got second place, right, on Big Brother Canada. So there's a precedence for people that are above 40 doing well lately.
I just feel like Karen was a lot more focused and like a lot more lucid, and I feel like this guy's just kind of like not all there.
Especially in her interviews. Like when Karen did her interviews like pre-season with Rob and stuff, I was like, oh, this woman's like really, really savvy. She didn't become the Karen that we all know and love until she really got into the house. And so maybe if Kevin is kind of starting like kind of loosey-goosey maybe. But I don't know. I'd like to think that he's like a secret agent spy and like maybe he's really playing it up.
I think he's going to be very entertaining. I think that, or at least for the beginning, who knows? Like, I don't know how it's going to be the whole way through, but I think that like, he seems like a nice enough guy. He seems like he wants to do it for his kids. So, when people want to do it for their kids, like they try way harder. So, I think that we'll see. And I think it's funny how his like daughters are already so involved. It's great. I love it. So yeah, good pick.
I love that someone on Rob, one of Rob's podcasts referred to him as like the Dan Lembo of Big Brother. I can see him doing that. I mean, like, Jillian, what are we going to do? Jillian.
Alrighty.
Who do you want, Cam?
All right, Cam.
Alex is left, so. I mean, there's nothing really I can say about Alex. I mean, she doesn't even want to win the game, so I mean, incredibly stupid.
The first person in Big Brother history whose goal is to lose.
I'm just hopeful that she's like been very nervous in her interviews or something, and like that's what's going on, and that she's just like, because that's why she's like so hyper and so like speaking so quickly. I think maybe hopefully she's just nervous.
Yeah.
Or she's Pow Pow.
Or she's
Pow Pow's distant cousin.
Yeah. Seriously, she reminds me so much of Pow Pow.
Me too. And the fact that she said she wants, she said she really likes Nicole and James, and she wishes James could come back in the house for a third time. I'm like, no.
Oh my God, please don't. No,
please don't.
She might be the first and only person who wants that.
All right, you're the only one.
I'm really wary of anyone who describes themselves as hyper, because if you describe yourself as hyper, then like I generally in my experience, you're a lot to handle. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So and like that first week it's all based on first impressions. It's based on nothing else. There's no I mean, it's not that there's no strategy, but it's all being set up. So like that first nomination, that first vote, it'd be so easy to be like, boy, this girl, she's really hyper. And she also described herself as an oversharer. And she also described herself as wanting to not win. So like if she mentions any of those three things to the other house guests, they'll just be like, oh, no, like no one will, I don't think anyone will complain or be upset or go to bat for her in week 1. I think she's the most likely to be the first boot.
Yep.
I absolutely see first boot potential.
Yeah.
For sure. So yeah. Wow. We got our picks. Wait, should we go through and just say real quick who our 4 picks are each?
Yeah, I'll read them, and then you guys can tell me if I messed up or not.
Okay.
And then maybe if you want to have like one final thing, like who your favorite out of your 4 is, or like what you, and then maybe give your team a name or something. Okay.
Maybe like who you're most interested to watch out of your 4. Like,
yeah,
something like
that's
that.
good.
All right, Cam. So your team is Christmas, Ramses, Dominique, and Alex. What is your team called?
Team Little Elves.
Okay. And then what's your final thoughts on your team?
I feel like Ramsey is going to be the most probably shocking of the 4 people I got. Because, I mean, Christmas, I mean, she's Christmas. I mean, I feel like everybody, that's probably everyone's top choice. I mean, I feel like. But Ramsey's, he's going to definitely shock some people. And I feel like he's going to make top 5 for sure.
Yeah, I think that Christmas is going to be a lot of people's first drafts, both on, the podcasts and also just like people's, between their friends.
Yeah, I see a lot of people saying like, oh yeah, definitely Christmas. Like, oh, for sure, first pick for like everything.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, so Jen, your team is Matt, Josh, Raven, and Kevin. What is your team name?
I don't know. I can't think of anything good.
Who are your people?
Matt, Josh, Raven, and Kevin.
Oof.
Oh, it's such like a random group of people.
I know, it really is.
I can't think of.
How about Team RGP, random group of people?
There we go.
Random group of people.
Perfect.
All right, and then what are your final thoughts on your team? Who are you most interested to watch?
I'm most interested to watch Josh. I want to see how he kind of plays out, if he kind of flares out and ruins things in the first 2 weeks, or if he can actually make it deep in the game. Interested to see that. So
I stand by what I said, but it will be fun to see whether it's him or
I just
Alex
feel like he'll
first.
make great feeds. Like he'll be entertaining. I'm
Definitely.
hoping. So I'm interested to see if like he gets on other people's nerves or if he is able to last and go deep.
All right, Melissa, your team is Jessica, Megan, Cody, and Jillian. What is your team name?
My team name is Team I'm the Best.
All right.
I like it. I think it fits. I'm most excited to watch Cody because I want to see where this goes. It really could go either way. I have no idea. I feel like I could absolutely see him being the villain of the season, but I could also see him being like the Dimitris of the season. Like I have no idea. So it'll be very interesting to see which way it goes because I don't just see him like being in the middle of the road. I see him being either or. So we'll see.
What if he's kind of like a Monty? What if he's like a Monty where he like week 1, like he's
week
kind of
2,
star, and then week 2 it's up.
Yeah.
That's
what I was thinking.
Possible.
He's got kind of the same haircut.
Yeah, I was going to say they look alike.
In
a way, like their hair.
Yeah.
All right, and then my team
looks like Lloyd Christmas.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. I don't know that I see it. I mean, I kind of see it.
He's got just like the little thing.
It's the hair thing. All right, my team is Cameron, Mark, Jason, and Elena. And my team is going to be called Team WTFN. Why the fuck not? Because that's kind of how I feel about all of them. Like, wing nut or whatever, whistle nut, Elena. I when I do these drafts, I tend to do one with like my friends, and then I'll do one with like you people or whatever. And like one I'll try to be super strategic, and one is kind of just like just for fun. And that's kind of that was kind of my strategy here. Like, we a lot of times with Big Brother, I feel like the fan favorite isn't the one who wins. The one who seems like the best player isn't the one who wins. Like at the end of the season, we're always just like, oh.
Yeah, that's very true.
Like no shade to Morgan from BBOTT, but like at week 1, I don't know if anyone was gonna pick her to be the winner. No shade to Steve from Big Brother 17, but week 1 when no one was gonna pick him to be the winner. So when I do these drafts, it's like, why the F not?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's my team, and
you
that
can really never predict
the group.
Yeah.
I suppose that's why we like the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you never know. I feel like all of these like discussions and like cast analysis and drafts and stuff, like they're so pointless. Once they go in, like everything, all bets are off. Everything's different.
Yep. And they finally let loose after a few weeks.
Yeah,
well, that's why we do it before the show starts. If we did it after the first episode or the first week, then like it would all be informed and we'd kind of have a good idea, and it would be, It wouldn't be nearly as fun because now we get to like when we all said Alex was going to go home first, but when Christmas goes home on night 1, we're all going to be like, oh my God, we all picked it wrong.
When we look back at the season and then we watch this video again, we're all going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe
I'm never rewatching this again. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to watch this every night.
After every
folks,
episode.
Any final thoughts?
Well, this is great. I'm glad we all got together again. I think that we should, maybe do another podcast coming up, see once things have actually gotten started and kind of see what's going on in the house.
Yeah, it's basically just me and my girlfriend that talk about all this all the time. I don't have any other people like in my immediate life that talk about stuff. So I'm desperate all the time.
So desperate. No, I think it's great. I think that I'm excited to get the season started. I can't wait. So, I
admire, Melissa, that you are now officially a member of the LFC, and so you're already slotted to do 10,000 podcasts about this. But you were like, one more. I need one more.
I'll do it. Yeah, for sure. I'll come on and do a draft. Honestly, I was just excited to talk about it, and I'm excited to talk with you guys again because I haven't gotten to talk with you guys since our first podcast together on Team Robot, and I haven't gotten to talk to Cam in person ever except for
this is the first time.
Online. So this is great. Nice to meet you, Cam.
It was real
you guys
fun.
are all wonderful.
This is great.
I gotta go because I gotta go get ready to be on Sequester. I'm gonna be on Sequester tonight.
Check Jon out in Sequester. He's on the show. Everyone should watch him and root for him.
Or don't. I mean, whatever.
Well, whatever. Who really cares? But
if you're up at 10 p.m. and you want to see more of this going on, will I change my shirt? Who knows? That's the big surprise.
Find out. Tune in and find out.
All right, everybody. I'm gonna save this. I got it written right here. I'm gonna save it. We're gonna all look at this in a few weeks.
Perfect.
Have a good one.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.